Hello and good evening, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Hope everyone's having a great week so far, even though it's 2 days in. Tonight, we have an amazing guest. She's so talented, absolutely gorgeous, and you guys are going to have an awesome time tuning in. Well, you better tune in, I tell you, or I'm going to have to come after you. But anyway, let me go ahead and bring in our guest. Or let me introduce our guest. So, one second here. I'm having some issues here. Tonight, the Coven welcomes a truly remarkable woman whose curiosity for the unexplained has taken her from haunted history and restless spirits to cryptids, mysteries, legends, and some strangest stories America has to offer. Our special guest is Jennifer Shortridge. It is a talented author, paranormal researcher, speaker, and podcaster who has dedicated years to exploring the mysteries that exist just beyond the boundaries of what we understand. Jennifer is a co-host of 222 Paranormal Podcast alongside brother Joe Shortridge. Together, the sibling duo takes listeners deep into the paranormal world, exploring everything from ghosts, haunted locations, and paranormal investigations to Bigfoot, cryptids, unexplained encounters, strange phenomenon, and mysteries reaching from this world to beyond. Their fun, fresh chemistry brings both curiosity and personality to subjects that have fascinated and frightened people for generations. But Jennifer's talents reach far beyond the microphone. She is also an accomplished book author whose research brings history and the paranormal together, shining a light on forgotten places, unexplained legends, and stories that may not have ended when people involved took their final breath. Her published work has explored subjects including ghosts of Underground Railroad, haunted asylums, Bigfoot, Sasquatch, and Yeti, haunted locations, and throughout all the 88 counties of Ohio, and much more. Jennifer has a gift for taking the historical record, paranormal accounts, legends, eyewitness stories, and mysteries of the past, asking one very important question. What if there was more to the story? From abandoned institutions and historic hauntings to creatures hiding beyond the tree line and spirits believed to still walk among us, Jennifer isn't afraid to follow the story wherever it leads. She is intelligent, engaging, beautifully spirited, endlessly curious, and someone who understands that sometimes the most fascinating history isn't simply written in books. Sometimes it whispers from the shadows. So, Coven, pull up your chairs a little closer, keep your open mind, and get ready for a fascinating journey into haunted history, paranormal mysteries, cryptids, and the unexplained. Please help us give a warm welcome to the incredibly talented author and co-host of 22 Paranormal Podcast, Jennifer Shortridge.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Cindy. What a nice intro. I really, really appreciate that.
You're so welcome. And thank you for coming on. It's been a long time.
I know it has.
It's been a few months that we've been sitting and waiting, for you to come on and stuff because, busy schedules and everything. Hello, Kara. We've got Kara watching. She's one of my faithful watchers. I just adore her.
That's so cool.
Yes.
Well, I wanted to say it was thundering right when I came on. And I'm like, every time. Okay, so if your listeners don't know, I live in a haunted house. My house has got lots of ghosts and spirits in it, and it's super active when it thunders and lightnings. So if you guys see anything, any shadow figures behind me, let me know.
I'll definitely let you know for sure.
It has happened on podcasts.
That's awesome. I didn't realize that you lived in a haunted house.
Yeah.
So how long have you lived in this haunted house?
20 years. So
wow.
I bought this house when I was 35 years old. I had no business buying a house. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have any money. I had no idea. And so I was going to buy the house down the street. And my mom said, "You're kind of a hype." I can hear her.
Yep,
Yeah.
she is a little girl. I sat and did a session with her and everything. She is a little girl. She's a sweetheart. She loves our dead bell. Absolutely loves it. We'll ask her questions. She's like, ding, 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 ding. I'm like, okay.
That's cool.
So
I gotta tell you,
yeah,
I have a doll in this house that has disappeared.
Wait, what?
So
really?
I got this doll sent to me, and it's a Raggedy Andy doll. Okay. And I got it like 10 years ago. Somebody didn't want it. They sent it to me. I just put it in the back room. And it sat in a corner for like 5 years. It was in the same spot. And it's gone now. I cannot find it. I can't find it anywhere. Nobody comes to my house. Like, I don't have a lot of company. My brother comes over once in a while to cut the grass, but he usually doesn't come in the house. It's gone. It is like gone. Really? I don't know where it's at. I've checked every cupboard. I've checked up in the attic.
Under the bed or anything? Nothing?
Up there. It's gone.
Wow.
And it sat in the same spot for 5 years. Like, I cannot explain it. I walked in yesterday. I came in and I had been at my mom's all day. And 2 purple coasters were sitting on the edge of my love seat. Don't know where they came from or how they got here, but nobody comes in my house. It's just me. Like,
wow.
Heavens, that
is something else. So so since you live in a haunted home, have you done any like paranormal investigating in your home?
Yeah. I've had several people come in.
How many spirits do you have?
A lot. There's like 8 or 9 different ones. And some of them are pets. Yeah. So I know there's just like former pets. There's supposedly a dog. He's like a lab. I've never seen him. I never really sensed him, but the medium who came in said that he was here. Just people, the house is 100 years old. So it was built in 1935 or maybe a little bit earlier than that, somewhere in the 1930s. So we're going on, almost 100 years. And it's really interesting. When I first got in here, it's like it's a brick, it's a bungalow, it's small, it's like 2 bedrooms, it's got an attic that's finished and a basement that's finished, and lots of little like hidden things here and there, lots of like it's a guy who owned it was a craftsman, so lots of like details, stuff you just don't find in the modern houses, and so I would hear whistling a lot in the house, and nobody would believe me. I'm like, guys, I hear somebody was whistling in my house, and they're like, "Nah, it's outside. You're hearing outside." So one day, my mom and I were sitting at the dining room table, and we're just flipping through magazines. It was like noon, and she had stopped over to bring me some, I don't even know what, probably some cucumbers or something. She grew in her garden, and we heard whistling, and she's like, my dad was a whistler before he passed. He loved to whistle. He whistled all his life. And so she's like, "Oh, your dad's here. I hear him whistling." I'm like, "Mom, Dad doesn't drive anymore. He can't drive anymore." So she heard it. So I finally had somebody, confirm what I've been hearing for the first, 5 to 10 years that I was here.
Yeah.
Whistling in the house.
And before the show, we talked about, or you mentioned that you've heard your name.
I heard it in my parents' house too once.
Really?
I was like 13 or 14 and I was home by myself and I heard somebody call my name. I mean, you hear your name called, you go downstairs, who's calling me? And nobody was there. And it's like weird, to hear your name. Or have you ever heard your name like come across like any of the equipment? Like you haven't introduced yourself and then somebody says, "Hey, Cindy."
No, not through the equipment yet. I'm waiting for the day, but I've definitely have heard my name. It sounded a lot like my grandma Ray. It was like a second mom to me. She means so much to me. Of course, she's, passed, but I have her ashes up in my cabinet above in my desk. And so I used to have this moon that would hold her ashes. And when we were traveling, I don't know what happened, but I lost it. And so I was devastated.
Oh, I bet.
I was crying profusely, because that's my grandma's ashes. Like somebody else is going to pick that up and be like, oh, what's this? And I'm like, ooh,
Yeah.
But I still have more of her ashes here, and then I can get them. Because it's one of those, it was really cute. It was a black moon that it's for you to hold your loved one ashes in. And I love the moon. I love black. So I was like, that's perfect, right?
Yeah.
But I have, because she used to call me Sins. And so I heard it, Sins. And I'm like, hello, Grandma. And stuff. But but not through the equipment. Not yet. We'll see. Yeah. Maybe someday.
Someday soon, yeah. I captured my dad's voice on a digital recorder after he died. Yeah. I just felt his presence. Like, it was about 3 months after he passed. And, I had seen him in my back bedroom twice. I had seen, so my boyfriend died 6 months before my dad died. They both had cancer. It was sad. It's been a while. It's been like 7 years, but I saw them both standing at separate times in the back bedroom. But I felt my dad's presence. Like, I didn't see him at that time, but I felt, it wasn't just like, oh, I feel. I was feeling. I was in my feels, right?
Yeah.
And and so I took the digital recorder and I walked in the back bedroom and I was like, confirm who's here. Tell me your name. And it said Dick. And it was his voice. I played it for everybody. And it was his voice.
And that would be awesome if I could hear my grandma's voice. Yeah. Because I did a special episode earlier today with a good friend, Trisha Collins from Monsters Unleashed. Mm-hmm. And so we were talking about our abilities, because we both have abilities. And I told her, I said that, now that I know where I was going with it, but now I lost my finger.
Just hearing somebody's voice, trying to
just hearing my grandmother's voice. I know what it was now. So I was driving home from work because I had quite of a commute, the distance that I had. And I got done talking with my mom, and I told myself, I got to call Grandma. And I'm like, wait a minute, I can't call Grandma. And it was just like, gosh darn it, I miss hearing her voice.
Yeah.
I miss hearing her call me Sins. And I miss her calling me, what's wrong? I'm like, what do you mean, what's wrong? Nothing's wrong. Yes, there is. What's wrong? Tell me now. Don't lie to your grandma. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't lie to my grandma. She knew. Yeah. She would always know. And I think that's where I get my abilities is from my mom's side. My mom's got them. My grandma had them. But so I'm assuming, with you living in a haunted home, and as long as you've been seeing and speaking to spirits, you've had abilities since when?
Well, I wouldn't say that I have psychic abilities, but I just have that intuition, I feel and sense things, but I've never really developed it. And I can talk to Uncle Charlie on the other side or anything, but since I was little, I was always fascinated about ghosts. I remember being 3 or 4 years old. Now, I come from a big Catholic family on both sides. My mom and dad had tons of brothers and sisters, and there was tons of cousins. And, somebody was always getting married or dying in the 70s, right? In 70s. So they would always take us to the funerals. And I would be so fascinated at the funeral homes. I would sneak into the room to go look at the other dead bodies. I'm the weird kid. I'm telling you, and so I would be in the room and by myself, trying to look at the dead corpses.
How old were you?
4 or 5 years old.
Oh wow! So you were fascinated by that. Okay.
Yeah. So I was always fascinated by that. I would have weird feelings. I had a cousin who they had a house which was like a prominent house back in the 1800s in Toledo. And they had a lot of ghosts in it. And we would always go over there and spend the night. I had cousins my own age, and we'd have sleepovers or Christmas parties or whatever. And they had a ghost in their house. And like I remember just being so curious but frightened at the same time. I would like be looking up the stairs looking for them, and like peeking around and being in the, like they always put the coats in the primary bedroom, and I'd be in there like kind of under the coats looking for the ghosts. Strange kid.
That's funny. Remember how we were talking about, putting ashes in a piece of jewelry? Mm-hmm. Well, Kara, she says that her son has a black necklace in the shape of a video game controller that has my mom's ashes.
Oh, that's so cool.
That's sweet. I love that.
And like having that close to you, like right here.
Yes, exactly. And with your, because I'm curious, because with your many spirits that you have in your home, have you experienced anything that was malevolent or a shadow figure or anything negative? Has it always been positive?
It's never been like super scary. I've had one incident that was really, really terrifying, but I think that was tied to an investigation that I had done. But I have seen shadow figures in the house. So my brother and I were standing here one day. We were just talking about the podcast, and we were kind of in between like the dining room and the kitchen and the door frame. And it was like 5:00 in the afternoon. It was still light out. And something came in between us, a shadow figure. It was so dark that it blocked our vision of each other. And it just went right between us and out the kitchen window.
Wow.
So interesting. And then the scary, scary thing that happened. We had gone to West Virginia Penitentiary.
Okay.
This was that time. And I just weird place. I didn't like it. I got an attachment. I was like, It was cool. Really? Don't get me wrong. I'm not poo-pooing it. But my experience, it was just very, very scary for me. And then I woke up to this figure standing over me, and it was like a scary clown type thing. But it wasn't clown makeup, but it was a clown face, like without the makeup. And it was just, and it was terrifying. It was like standing over me, and I didn't know what else to do. It wouldn't go away. So I started saying the Lord's Prayer, and I closed my eyes, and I opened, and he was gone.
Wow. Yeah. So he followed you home.
I don't know, because it's so funny because he had the face of a former coworker of mine who was a terrifying looking person anyways. He just,
oh, wow.
I don't know. I can't explain it, but that's what showed up, and that's how it manifested. Yeah. It was very, very scary. And that's the only time that I've been really, really frightened in my house. And a couple of times that you just got the heebie-jeebies, and I was like, I'm not looking around the corner today. I'm not going to do it. No, not going to do it. But, just strange. And it's fascinating to me. And, I live, and this is just interesting. The area that I live in back in the day, Ohio was Native American land before, the United States were even states. And in the early part of the history of this area that I live in, the main street one of the main streets that I live off of was a Native American trail that they used to take coming in from Michigan. They would come down from Adrian, Michigan, which is like southwestern Michigan, and come down through Ohio, through Toledo, down the road up that I live off of, and then go about 3 or 4 miles from my house to this place called the Hope Well. And I was just talking about this place today. It was a freshwater source that Native Americans would come and do their trading and their ceremonies, like maybe twice a year, probably like spring and harvest times. And so when I had my friend come in who, picks up on spirits and things, she said there was a lot of Native American spirits along this path. Okay. And I think the other main street that I live by is a ley line. And she said that spirits go up and down that corridor of the ley line. And it was really interesting because there was spirit here who was coming through. He said his name was Angel, and that him and his pregnant girlfriend were pew-pewed in a robbery in the 80s at the Burger King. And I was like, that's just way too specific. And, we were kind of sensing and feeling, and he was coming through on the equipment and talking through my friends, through her abilities. So I ended up going and doing some research, and it was true that this young man and his pregnant girlfriend were killed.
Oh, that's terrible.
Like a block, or no, I'm going to say a block. I'll say half a mile from my house in the 80s. But he supposedly stopped by, because we're on, where the spirits come kind of up and down this track. And maybe he was attracted because other spirits were here. We were open to him. I'm not sure. I don't have that answer, but it was very interesting.
That is interesting.
To be able to go back and look at, real life history and say, oh, yeah.
I'm picking up a woman, Lydia.
Maybe.
I mean, you have a lot of spirits there, but I keep getting a woman, and the name's coming through as Lydia.
Oh, okay. I haven't heard that name. Now, I did see my neighbor she passed away. I think she passed away in September, and this was years ago. And I didn't find out until December, because Joe and I, at the time, we were traveling like every weekend. I was working full time, taking care of my mom and dad, the house, traveling with the podcast. So I didn't really realize she had passed. She was in her 90s. I think she was 94. Well, she showed up in my bedroom one day.
Wow.
I was sleeping, and I remember because I was dreaming, and I was like, all of a sudden I just got that electricity, that feeling, when spirits around. I woke up and I rolled over, and she was just standing there. And I was like, I wasn't scared, but I was just like, I was just like, in my mind, I was just like instantly trying to figure out, like, why is she here?
Yeah.
And maybe she just came to say goodbye or just check in. I don't even know. And then I rolled over to like process it or think about it. And I'm like, what am I doing? I should say hi. And I rolled back, and she was gone. She was gone, but she was full body apparition, but she was like milky white. Like there was no color to her. But, you could see the whole outline of her. And I was like, I, for years and years and years, had guilt because I didn't say anything to her. I was like, I'm so sorry.
Oh,
just trying to think about why this was happening.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, no, it's sometimes names will come through, and I'll get the sense of, like, the other night on Monsters Unleashed, I kept getting the name Brian. Like, it was just, there was a Brian. And the gentleman that was on as a guest, he said, oh my gosh, that's my brother's best friend. Wow. And I was like, okay, I don't know why I'm getting it. Because sometimes when things come through, it's like weird. It's like pieces. Okay. It's not a full, like, hey, my name's Brian and da-da-da-da-da. Yeah. Or, or the spirit, his brother's spirit saying my friend Brian. It's not like, it's like just little pieces. And we have a friend, Michael Hanna. He's a full-blown, very well-known medium. He helps the LA police department too, for those who have perished or gone missing, to try to help. And he's, oh my God, he's absolutely amazing. I highly recommend reaching out to him if you ever want to have somebody on. But it's just Michael Hanna. It's Hanah, I believe. I can send him his profile, but he's just absolutely amazing. I've been developing my abilities. They're not as strong as his are. So I don't claim myself as a medium or a psychic. I'm just trying to learn everything. But he says it's kind of like when he gets messages or gets things, it's like emojis. Kind of. It's like little pieces that comes to him, and he'll kind of start putting them together, and then that's when he starts asking the questions to the person he's talking to. So he's just kind of been my mentor and helping me with building and opening up my space in my mind. And I do, when I'm on investigations, I know it can be very dangerous, but I do allow the spirits to use my energy. I said, you can touch me, you can pull my energy from me. And so you can talk, show yourself, whatever. We did have an experience at an abandoned military base for past LA. That's there. And there we were in the emergency room area, and it's massive. It's huge, gigantic room, very, very dark. Like you turn off the lights, you can't see nothing in front of your face. So we were in there, we were investigating, and something overcame me where I was like, I got to take pictures. Something told me I need to take pictures. I need to take pictures. So I took my cell phone and just like snap, 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 just one right after the other, right? Mm-hmm. And I went around the whole ER room. And then after that, I was like, something's wrong. Something's wrong. I'm not feeling good. So I told Marcus, I'm like, come here, babe. So he comes over. I said, babe, there's something evil here. We got to go. It's not good. I said, he wants to attach to someone. And so he, and my friend Joy, oh, it did?
Yeah. Oh, your light well, my lights just turned off. I had 2 lamps on in the living room. I'm like, oh, the spirits are here, I think.
Sorry, my friend Joy, you're fine. Well, you have that big storm going on, so I get it. My friend Joy, who I investigate with, her and her husband, she says, I second that about Michael. She's actually the one who introduced me to Michael Hanna.
Oh, cool. I can't wait to
he's a great guy. You will love him. He likes to talk a lot too, but he's a great guy. Great sense of humor. Awesome. But when we were in this military base and I started having this overwhelming dark feeling, I was like, we need to go, like now. And, I was trying to tell Joy and her husband, and I'm like, you guys, we need to go. Like this thing that I was feeling was not good. And so we finally got out. And as we were leaving there, there were some obnoxious teenagers that were, up above us. And we don't know if they were the ones throwing rocks or not. But as we were leaving, the rock got thrown. And I went back because Marcus got mad. He's like, really, beep, 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 He's like, really, if you're going to throw rocks, why don't you throw it at me? Like, and I'm like, stop. Because you don't know if they're carrying a pew pew.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So all of a sudden he turns around, comes out, and all of a sudden, Jennifer, I saw this tall thing with a white face and black eyes. And I was like, what is that? I mean, I said the F word, but I'm like, what the F is that? And I went immediately, I turned and I was like, oh my God, there's a person with a white face and black eyes, white face with black eyes. I was repeating it. So they all went, or some of them went back to go look, couldn't see it. Nobody could see him. But I was like, what the heck did I just see? So needless to say, I'm late the next day, I'm checking my pictures and holy Toledo, I caught something that was not pretty.
I gotta see
he's pretty scary looking. And we tried to debunk it. We looked at Joy's video. We looked at our video. We looked at all of our photos. There was no way that we could debunk what I caught. And I'm telling you, to this day, it was something that wanted to attach to someone. It was that horrible, like you said, goosebump, like, oh, gut wrenching, horrible feeling. And it was quite the experience. Joy says Cindy doesn't give herself credit. She deserves. Yes.
That's so nice.
I always doubt myself. So, but it was quite an experience, I tell you. So, but I want to go back now. I want to go back and either feel or see that thing again. But it was quite interesting, I tell you. But so how did you and your brother, because I know we're talking about paranormal. So how did you and your brother start the 222 Paranormal Podcast?
So, I'll tell you everything. So, this was when podcasts first started coming out. He was very into it. He's very techie. He loves computers, audio. He's very into more so than me, like aliens, space, anything to do with like the atmosphere type things.
Yeah.
And he was listening to podcasts, and I had just got off of I started ghost hunting, and I had gone to Mansfield Prison in 2009. As Ghost Adventures was getting really starting to get popular. I think they had been out for like 2 or 3 years at that point. And so I went to Mansfield Prison and did this like, pay to play thing. And they were there and we ghost hunted. And my brother's like, we should do a podcast about, and I'm like, what's a podcast? I don't even know what are you talking about? I have no idea. And he explained it to me, and he's like, you just get on and you talk. And I was like, well, we could talk about, my experience. I'm really into ghost hunting right now, really. And he liked it too. He's always like me. He's into like mystery, adventure, history, high strangeness, I guess you would call it. And so he's like, let's record a podcast. I'm like, okay, I don't know how, whatever. So we did it 4th of July. I had this big 4th of July party at my house. And as the evening would wind down, we sat down in my basement with one of my friends and we just recorded a podcast. And I didn't know, we didn't know, if you go back and listen to the first shows, we didn't know what we were doing. We had no direction, but we knew how to tell stories, yes. And I love history. I like researching history. I love writing. Like I told you before we went on, I lived in California for a year or so, and I loved it. And that started my quest to find an outlet for my whatever I had in me. I had to do something. And I started writing, and I loved it. I loved writing. And been doing it now for, like 25 years. But, we winged it. We had it was really early in podcasting when we started, we didn't even know how to edit. We were like, what's editing? It's how many ums can I say in this episode 47 in the first one, probably. But, we just started and it just became a thing. And then, we had friends in paranormal groups. And so we researched conventions. We started going to conventions. We started interviewing people from the ghost shows, the Bigfoot shows, alien shows, anybody who had a really good story, we wanted to hear it. And even if they didn't have a good story, to let somebody come on and tell their story. Cause I'm telling you, over the, 11 plus years that I've been doing conventions, I have had more people come up to me and say, I've never told anybody this, but they felt comfortable enough to come to Joe and I and tell their story, whether it was a Bigfoot encounter or, having a ghost experience or seeing something they just could not explain, but it really affected them enough to never tell anybody. Right. But, doing the conventions, we have this community of, it's so different now. People are embracing others' stories, their experiences. They feel comfortable enough to come and talk to people because, there was times where, people would just be ridiculed, and they still, get ridiculed.
They still do.
I mean, when I had a job, I lost my job, but that's a whole nother story. But I would just, my poor coworkers, I would be like, saw another ghost in my house. And they were like, girl, it's strange. I'll go back to my community, I'll go to somebody will understand what we go through as in the as I say business, but in the community that we're in. It's very understanding. I've met so many cool people and, made lifelong friends and, it's just been amazing. It's a very unique place because, not everybody just has ghost experiences. They have elementals or cryptids or, Bigfoot encounters or things like you experience you can't explain. That doesn't fit into any category. Like, what is it?
Right.
Is it a wraith? Is it a rake? Is it a elemental? Is it a demon? You don't know. Just,
yeah.
You know.
And that's the thing, though, is that I don't know. Let me ask you this, because, you know, I've had a few guests on and everything, and I've had some returning guests and everything, because they used to be on my Audible. And when I went to YouTube, I was like, hey, I would like to have you guys on the show again now that I'm on YouTube. So I always ask this because I always like to hear other people's opinions and theories. Do you think the veil right now is thinning more and more as time goes on?
Okay. What I think is the veil thins and thickens, right? And I don't think it's any more thin. Maybe there's certain times of the year that it becomes thin, but I think people are more open to seeing what's there. Because, you know, like, we've been distracted for many, many years. Like, you know, first it was television, and people just stared at their television. And then, you know, it's the phones. Now we have our faces in our phones all day. You're not looking up in the sky and seeing if there's, you know, a silver saucer flying by. But I think also, you know, because it's more accepted these days, like, people are open to talking to a medium. It's not taboo anymore. Some people don't like it, but I don't think it's in the realm of being taboo, because, you know, many of the religions of the world are based on spirituality and, you know, life and death and afterlife. And, you know, like, I've had people like chide, you know, like, get in my face like, I don't believe in ghosts. There's only the Holy Spirit. I'm like, well, isn't that the same thing? Isn't that the same? Hi, Janet. I love Janet.
Hi, Janet. And I'm so happy to see you on here. Yay.
That's great. I love her. But you know, I think you got to be open to it. And I don't know I'm going in a rabbit hole just for 2 seconds.
No, you're fine. Go for it.
But I think the things that we put in our body, chemicals, preservatives, fluoride, prevents us, you know, like the whole thing about the pituitary gland. If it calcifies, you can't see the other realm. Are they you know, I was like 3 a.m. rabbit holes. Does, you know, the things they put in our water, does that prevent us from opening itself up to the spirits? You know, if you eat junk food all the time, does that stop you? You don't drink enough water.
Yeah. Well, because you're right. I mean, there's so much crap in our foods, you know, and it's so processed, some of the stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you've heard, most people have, but, you know, Bill Gates is going around and making all this fake meat and everything. And I don't know how much of it is true, because you can't believe everything, right? But there was this video that I came across in my feed, and it was a huge dump truck of half alive, dead chickens that were being dumped, and it said that it's Bill Gates's dumping ground for chickens. And I'm like, what in the world? So he's trying to make fake chicken along with, like, what is he trying to get us to not eat, like, red meat? Is he, like, some people are vegetarians, right? So it's all plant-based. I don't eat red meat anymore. I'm not supposed to because of my health reasons. So I do a lot of chicken. I do like tofu. But, you know, and turkey meat, I'll do that. But it's to the point, even our fruits. I don't know if you've ever noticed when you go to the grocery store, I've gotten fruit and I was like, this does not taste right. It's like a watermelon should be able to rip, you know, when you go and you start ripping it open and bite or whatever, and you can't do it. It's like rubbery. It's like, what are we eating? What are they putting in us? You know,
I don't know. These are my late night thoughts, you know, and I was just like random weird stuff that I'm always like, I gotta learn more about that. But, you know, it just goes back to, things that are hidden or suppressed, knowledge about the paranormal, about alchemy, about magic, about spells, or healing, frequencies, bells, hertz, frequency and hertz. And I just it keeps me up at night. I'm like, I gotta get my beauty sleep. I'm a senior citizen now. I'm 55 years old. I'm old dirt. I need my sleep, my beauty sleep. But it's like I just wonder, do those kind of things prevent the paranormal from coming through? Could we, if we had we got the spectrum, what you can see, like ultraviolet, pets, animals can see in different spectrums. So I think they're more in tune with seeing things that we can't see.
Correct. I agree with that.
Would that change if, our diets were different, or I just saw a thing before I got on here about, it's a conspiracy theory. I'm just throwing it out there, but they're getting rid of copper pennies because copper is healing.
Yes.
Wearing copper, being in, around copper and having copper on your body, or, even if you put copper in the soil where you're growing plants, it helps them,
Yeah. Well, and a lot of people, speaking of copper, a lot of people are now using the copper water bottles.
Mm-hmm, and I do.
Those like crazy. And I told Marcus, I said, that's what we need to start doing, is using the copper water bottles, because I heard it is supposed to be very healthier and healing. And I have a lot of stomach issues. I have celiac disease. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Yeah.
But it can be pretty rough on me sometimes. Plus I have fibromyalgia. So it's like I try to watch what I eat. Sometimes I'll treat myself, but I try not to do it too much. But I really need to start really looking into things, and that is a good question. That does make me question that, as well. Is our food, is even the stuff we drink. I mean, I filter the water and everything. I use, I forget, zero water is what it's called. It's a huge filters that go in the tank. And it has 7, I think, layers of filtering that it goes through. And then you put the little thing in, the little thing that tells you if your water's still good or not.
Yeah.
And everything. That's what we use.
I would get that, and get yourself a copper water bottle, because it takes the negative ions out of the water, so it's healthier for you, and it's supposed to be able to kind of open up your third eye as well. I'm gonna head out. Bye, Joy. Thank you.
Bye, Joy. Have a good night. Miss you, mamas. Yeah, and she agrees. Our food is pretty much.
But I still eat Doritos for dinner sometimes. I'm I'm single. I don't cook. George Foreman.
I love it. You're so on the outlet. Sometimes I have Doritos.
I'm scrolling through TikTok, looking at people cooking food while I eat Doritos for dinner. I'm a snack.
What's your favorite Dorito?
I like the taco flavored Dorito. The old taco flavor. They changed the formula. It's terrible now.
Yes. Do you remember the old Dorito bags?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I saw a bag that had the old version or the original look, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that brought back so many memories.
I get nostalgic so much now that I'm a senior citizen. I do have an ARP card.
So besides having a haunted house, an amazing podcast, you have a ton of books that you've done.
I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I just went through a phase because, and this is funny, I have all these ideas, and we have years and years and years of notes from our podcast. I research a lot, print stacks of papers and go through things and, create for our shows. And I had all this stuff, and I was like, I got to do something with it. I can't just, let it go. So I had to compile it. And I was fortunate. I was at a place that I was being paid to work, but there was no work to do. So I wrote books for the last year. I was able to get through them and publish them. I've had sitting on some of these for years and years and just didn't have the gumption to do it. I'm like, there's no time like present, and you gotta get your stories up. But I love it. I love writing and I love reading. I always, any place I go, I love to buy books, and I have stacks and stuff.
I have a bookcase in my office full of books and everything, and I wish I had more time to read. I really do. I feel like because I'm, besides my own podcast and doing all the advertising, you know how it goes, trying to put out your podcast and then preparing for episodes. But I'm on other podcasts. I'm on Grandpa's Old Haint Tales, which we talk about old folklore and stories in North Carolina Appalachian Mountains. That's actually on right now. We air Tuesdays and Thursdays on the NCI and here on Coven. So I love that because I write short stories is what I'm into. Eventually, I told myself I am going to write a book, and I'm trying to do like a series for Coven of Curiosities. And so Janet, she goes, so behind on my reading.
I think everybody is. It's just life, It's like,
but I do like to read, and I love history as well, especially very history, like Egyptian history, Roman history, like way back, and of course, the like the Game of Thrones. I'm trying to, like, the dragon era, I love that stuff. My mind goes all, crazy when it comes on. So to share some of your covers here.
Yes, oh, great.
So this one is obviously about haunted railroads. Now, is this particularly in a certain area, or is it multiple haunted railroads?
No, this is just, stories I found from all over, from everywhere, from London to Ohio. There's many, many really cool and interesting haunted events around railroads in Ohio, because, as the railroad was coming across the United States, Ohio was a pivotal point because we had the Great Lakes. It's in the middle of the country. It was connecting the East Coast to the Midwest. And we've had some really interesting haunted locations right here in Ohio. There was 2 great circus train disasters. One near Cleveland and one near the Cincinnati, Kentucky, Ohio border. And tons of activity, like people hear elephants and circus music and, screaming and crashes and horns and, tigers roaring and in the middle of the night and, phantom lights. So I love railroads. My dad was a railroad buff. So, I get that from him.
And then you did a Reiki.
Yeah. That book is like a doorstop. It is so thick. But it was the history of Reiki and, how you use it, why we use it, different cultures that use it. And there's a lot of practice and techniques and levels in there. So that took me a long time to write, but it's really fascinating. I've never done it on anybody.
Okay.
But I haven't had it done to me. And it was really helpful, really interesting energy work and, using your life force and it was fascinating. It's really interesting.
So do they ground themselves in the process? I've never had it done, but do they ground themselves before they do anything to you?
And, and everybody, each practicer has a different process. Now, I know people that have studied under other people and they do it, the way that they were taught. But definitely you have to, because if you're using your energy to expend onto somebody else, you can't deplete all of your energy or you're just going to end up on a pile of goo on the floor, right? Like it's like pouring from an empty cup, right? Like, it's like when you're working full time and caring for a parent who's dying and you're trying to take care of your house and do a podcast, and run a business and, 47 things. And then somebody wants you to go mow their grass for them or something. And you're just like,
yeah,
I can't do it. True life story example, right? So, this book, I loved researching this book. So Ghosts of the Underground Railroad.
So when you say underground, what do you mean by that?
Okay, so the Underground Railroad was a series of safe houses and routes that the slaves took from the South to the North to escape into freedom. Ohio was a very pivotal pathway area or, just route for the Underground Railroad, for the slaves to escape into freedom, because we were close to Canada. Toledo has many houses that were used as safe houses for the slaves who were escaping. We have one place in Savannah, Ohio. It was a family farm, which they, I think, moved to this space. It was originally somewhere else, but they moved it to the space that they say there's paranormal activity in there of, the caretakers and the enslaved people who went through there. But many really cool and interesting manor houses and mansions in Ohio that were safe havens. And not everybody was safe. There was many, many people who did not make it, whether it was they were caught and killed or, injured, drowned, crossing the Ohio River, which was a very, very dangerous point in the journey.
Right.
Because the Ohio River is so wide and fast moving. It was very dangerous. And, doing this in the middle of the night, so. It came about because I was writing this other book about antebellum houses and the hauntings in there. And, many of those were plantations that owned slaves. And then I was like, I really want to talk about the ghosts of the people who escaped. And there are, ghosts of the people who helped them escape are still seen in some of these.
Your brother's on.
Oh, Joseph Dean. Tell him, Mom.
Hello, Joe.
How did the slaves know which direction to go? Well, there, what's interesting is that people don't realize, like, the quilts that the slaves made, they had hidden messages in the quilts of, like, directions. Like, they would have maps.
Really?
They would have their songs, like their spiritual songs. It'd be like, go down the river by the moonlight. That was telling the other slaves which way to go. And as they went from state to state, the songs would change and it would give them directions like, the Lord's coming on the left or whatever it was. I'm not making fun of it, but, so that, there would be markings. There would be, houses that had the bell towers or barns that they would put a light in the top. If the light was on, it was safe to come in. How do you know I'm in here? Because you're showing up, Joseph, my brother. He's a nut. You got to have him on. He's a fabulous podcast guest. But I really, really enjoyed writing this book. And there's so much history. There's a lot of Ohio history, more so just because I live in Ohio. But, there's so many cool ghost stories in there.
It sounds amazing. Now, libraries. When I saw this, I was like, I don't know why I would never think, why not a library?
Yeah.
Seriously. Because I'm sure libraries definitely can be haunted. Yeah.
Well, as a writer, and an author, I love libraries. Like if I go into any mansion or castle or city, I want to go to the cemetery and I want to go to libraries. It's just, I don't know, I'm just fascinated. When I was a little kid, we went to the library, that's what we did because we didn't have, parents wanted us to like read or something. Ugh. But no, I loved it. I love going to the library. And still to this day, I love libraries. And I just, we investigated a haunted library in Michigan and, books flying off the shelves, people seeing shadow figures. It was an old house that converted into the town library. And we went there a couple years ago.
Sorry.
No, we didn't see. We've never seen that movie ever.
Sorry, I couldn't help when her comment came up. I could not help but to laugh. That was great. Good one, Janet.
Got us there.
That's hilarious. I love libraries too. I really because I went to London years ago and I got to enjoy I'm trying to remember that I got to find that I have a book on the castle that I went to. And I'm telling you, I've never seen something so absolutely amazing and beautiful. Just beautiful. But they had an area where they had, so it wasn't books, it was scrolls. And they were chained to the shelf so they could protect them, obviously, because they don't want people taking them.
Yeah.
That's how they had books, but before the books started to be made, they had the scrolls. And oh my gosh, I'm telling you what, I wish I could have touched one and opened one and tried to read it.
Yeah.
That's
amazing.
It's but I love libraries. I love the libraries where you have the ladder because it's so massive. And the only way you can get to the book is climbing the ladder. So
can you imagine those books, the history and the energy in those books, or the knowledge?
It's
amazing. I miss the part of the show.
She got home. Kara was probably driving.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did a lot of research. I don't recall Illinois being in there, but it could be. It's been a while since I wrote that one.
And then the haunted antebellum houses.
Yes. So, like the Southern plantations.
Oh, gotcha.
They call them antebellum houses. Many of them, were taken over during the Civil War and used as hospitals, makeshift hospitals. So many, reported of death, dying, disease, anything to do with the Civil War. You've got just a myriad of hauntings. It started the spiritualism movement because so many young people died and their families wanted to get in touch with them. But, the history in these type of houses, these old houses, and it was maybe a year ago that one of the most famous ones burnt to the ground, and they saw something in the flames. I don't know if you remember that story. You'll have to look.
It's familiar.
I'll send it.
But So have you ever experienced that when you've been, say, for instance, camping or just your fireplace and you see something in the fire? Something else.
Yeah, Joe and I went to a ghost walk at Fort Meigs in Perrysburg, Ohio. So Fort Meigs was part of the War of 1812. And so it's kind of like I won't say a reenactment, but they rebuilt the fort to the way it was. And we got a picture of a soldier, and they had this giant fire pit. And Joe took a picture, and you can clearly see a soldier in the flames, the whole outline of them. It was really cool. Yeah, it was amazing.
Something else. I tell you, it's really mind-blowing. It makes you like, wait, did I just see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, Janet says she loves fire gazing.
Yes.
It's very soothing for me and calming. I just love to just sit and
it hypnotizes you.
Yeah.
It's like looking at the waves of the water or something. It's just like, stop watching it.
And this is it. So this one I found also interesting too, because ancient cathedrals, because again, when I was over in the London area and everything, we went to Wales as well.
Okay.
And we went to an old church. And I'm telling you, some of these places that are built from like rocks, or, and they're just, oh my gosh. And so this one church that we went into was massive. And it was interesting because the pews you would face this way with each other.
Okay.
You wouldn't face towards the priest or preacher, whatever. You faced each other. So we walked down this area, and they had you could go downstairs underneath the church where they had people in their tombs.
Oh, and I love that.
I felt like I was back in the medieval times. It was the most coolest feeling ever. It was and the stained glass. Oh my God.
Yes. I love stained glass. I love it.
Yeah. So much history.
Love it.
And they would tell stories. I don't know if you know, but I'm sorry, I'm getting all excited.
Oh, I love it. I'm so excited too. Like, girl, let's book a trip and go.
Yeah, right. Let's go. Let's go to London. But the paintings and the sculptures and everything, even the windows had stories. They tell stories and stuff that were there. And so the stained glass windows told, had a story and stuff. So I saw this and I was like, I'm going to have to get it as soon as I can. I'm going to get it.
What's interesting though, is people don't realize that cathedrals started off as healing centers. The bells, the frequency of the bells would resonate, and it vibrates your cells, and which causes healing to your body. So like, the singing, the chanting, that's all frequency.
Yes.
So you go into those places and you take a tuning fork and you could hear it at the other end. It's like they're so precisely made.
Yes.
You can't fathom it. It's like they had a secret language or science that we just don't probably have anymore.
Yeah.
Go, box McDonald's boxes. Like that's it. They don't make them like they used to.
This one I found interesting because I have some friends that live in Ohio. Hey, Ash. My buddy Ash is on. I was on his show last night. We had a good time. So I have some friends that live in Ohio. Okay. And I was curious, why the heart-looking state of Ohio?
So actually, Ohio they call it the tagline for Ohio is the heart of it all, because it's kind of heart-shaped. The state is kind of heart-shaped. So it's a play on words, so Ohio's the heart of it all, but it's the haunt of it all, actually. It's one of the most, I think it's one of the most haunted states. I mean, we have just this rich, and I think all states are haunted, but, we just have this rich history of, there were 12,000 Native American mounds in Ohio before white man ever came here. The area in Toledo where I lived up at the top there, the top of the vein, was the Great Black Swamp, which the Native Americans wouldn't go into. They said it was cursed. Could have just been a way to keep people out of getting into the disease. It's on the water. It's built on limestone. We have everything from Bigfoot sightings, which are still happening to this day. We have cryptids, elementals, many, many, many haunted places. We have Mansfield Prison. We have the Ridges in Athens, which is an old insane asylum complex. We have sightings of, strange and unusual things. We have the Ohio River. Many people drown there. The Great Lakes, shipwrecks after hauntings.
Yeah.
UFO sightings, many UFO sightings. They think, there's a conspiracy theory that the aliens that crashed in Roswell were taken to Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio. Really? We've had, like I mentioned earlier, train disasters, circus train disasters, many train disasters in Ohio. That old stagecoach inns that have ghosts, people still see and hear. Pirates. We had pirates,
Yes.
Oh, Bigfoot. Speaking of Bigfoot.
Yeah.
I had a Bigfoot experience once.
You did? Oh, I want to hear.
Okay, so this is about 10 years ago. Okay. I went and with my family, and we rented a houseboat on this lake in Tennessee called Dale Hollow Lake. It's one of the most cleanest, most beautiful lakes in Tennessee. It's very, very crystal clear water. There's lots. It's called the Finger Lake. So there's lots of little inlets. You drive your little houseboat into a little, what would you call it? Like just a little hidden cove, and you park your houseboats in there for the night. I mean, just stunning place. And we pulled up to this island, and you have to tie your boat off to a tree on one side and tree on the other side, and then you're in this little like alcove. And my sister and I got off, and it's an island, and there's nobody on it. It's like really hard to get up. It's like a 5-foot cliff before you can even get into the forest. And we heard some rustling and grunting, and we were like, what is that? Is it like a wild hog or something? I'm like, I don't know how it would get on this island. But we saw a deer come out of the woods, and it looked terrified, like frightened. Oh. And not from seeing us. It was just, it just came out and stopped. And then a rock about the size of a tennis ball came flying, like arching over at us. I'm like, okay, no wild hog is throwing a rock, and it didn't roll down the hill. It got launched at us. So we think that, there's been Bigfoot sightings there many, many times before. And we think, maybe it thought we were in competition for its food. When this deer came out, it must have been chasing the deer. Oh. And so we're like, we ran back to the boat. I was like, I ain't coming off this boat. But the interesting thing, right after that happened, this out of nowhere, this lightning strike came down not even 5 feet from our boat. And it was, it's a big metal houseboat.
Right.
It was so loud. I had my cell phone in my hand at the time. My phone went completely white and flew out of my hand. I hate to say this, but I peed my pants because it was the electricity from that hitting the water so close to us. Yeah. It was just like, I fell on the floor, and I was blinded because I had looked right at the lightning. Yeah. It was so interesting. Why would that just come out of the blue right after we have this Bigfoot sighting?
That's so interesting.
It was so bizarre. I can't even explain it. I can't explain it. She's got a header pillow.
With you, ladies.
All right, Janet.
Oh, thank you, Janet, for at least tuning in.
Bye. Thanks for having me in your magazine.
Yeah, that's where I found you, actually, is Ghost Buzz Magazine. I saw your feature, and I was like, oh, I need to have her on.
Yay. So cool.
And a month and a half later, because I've been so booked and everything.
Oh, that's great, though. That's great. That's amazing.
But yeah, I been normally the paranormal background, and recently, I mean, I've always talked about Bigfoot and Sasquatch, or, because different areas call it different things. I've always, talked about that with my mom and my sons, because I have two older sons. Okay. And we would talk about cryptids and stuff like that. And I always found them very fascinating and interesting. But I didn't really start getting really, really more interested into it till recently. Just kind of intermixing with other people from other podcasts, or even having people reach out wanting to share their experiences and stuff like that. And I'm just telling you what, the stuff that people have either captured on video or taken photos of footprints and stuff. And I'm telling you what, I just I believe that they're definitely here. And the more and more that I keep getting into things, I'm telling you what, I want to get out there so bad and start investigating. had an opportunity to go to Land Between the Lakes with Trisha Collins from Monsters Unleashed. Beautiful place, absolutely beautiful. But I tell you what, it sure has a lot of history, and it has a lot of stuff going on in there.
Mm-hmm. I've heard, definitely should go. Love it.
And then Asylums. I love Asylums.
I do too.
So but so you did all of these. I love this too, the Great Lakes, because the Great Lakes has a lot of history and a lot of sunken ships. And even airplanes, it's like, is it this that I'm thinking of? I could be wrong. It's kind of like in a triangle. Isn't the Great Lakes part of a triangle, like the Bermuda Triangle?
Yep. Yes. So I have a book called Lake Erie Triangle, and it's the area between Detroit, Toledo, and Cleveland. The strange and unusual things that happen over and in Lake Erie. So, Lake Erie is the shallowest and warmest of all the 5 Great Lakes. We have so many sightings of ghost ships, right, kind of between Toledo and Cleveland, if anybody's familiar with that area. They see a ship that looks, like the cover here, the Flying Dutchman, they call it, many times. We have, there's been UFO sightings. There's been airplanes that have missing time. Pilots go over certain areas and there's missing times. But, you have fresh water, you have limestone and quartz. And from Detroit all the way underneath up into Cleveland, it's a salt mine underneath there. People don't realize there's a giant salt mine under Lake Erie. And so, what's a better recipe?
I just learned something new today. So thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate it.
You can look up, you can even go in them. You can go into the Detroit salt mines, and in the Cleveland, like people, they store things down there because it's temperature controlled. Yeah. But what's a better recipe for a haunting is salt, limestone, quartz, flowing water.
Yeah.
Never know.
It's huge. And then of course cemeteries. I love cemeteries.
My favorite. My favorite. I was in a cemetery today. The story.
Were you?
Yep. I was coming back from going back to my house, and there's a historic cemetery right here in Toledo. And I didn't know this until just a couple months ago, but there's a person buried here in Toledo that was in the Titanic disaster. And so I was trying to find his grave.
Yeah.
And I found the section, but I didn't get out of the car because it was like pouring rain and I had to go to the bathroom really bad. But it's just like, I'm going to go back. But it's very historic. It's got all the prominent people from Toledo in there. There's been ghost sightings in there. Wow. Every time I go in there, I either see a fox or a hawk, which is really strange.
Oh, that's interesting.
Captured many EVPs in there in the military section. They have people from the Spanish-American War all the way through modern wars buried in there. And I went in there one time with my recorder, and I was saying, thank you for your service. Thank you, everybody. Just give them some conversation. And I was capturing voices that were saying like, hi, how are you? Hola. It was like all different types of like voices. Yeah. From like maybe different eras. But it was really, really cool.
That's awesome.
Dying to go to cemeteries in London. That's my goal, is to go there.
So this is another one that I absolutely, so I want to get this one for sure.
Yeah.
I found the Knight Templars so fascinating, the history of it and everything like that. My grandfather was a Mason. Okay. I was growing up, and my grandmother was part of the Eastern Stars, which is part of the Masons. And then I was Job's Daughters is what they call it. And that's for the younger. I was part of that. But anyway, I love the Knights Templar. I'm lost for words when it comes to them. And I would like to have more time on my hands because I would like to dig deep into that. So that your book is going to be definitely handy when I start digging deep. So what made you have obviously a fascination with this as well?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I love history. I love mystery. I hope some mysteries are never solved because, what would be the fun in that? But this is really interesting because like I really love like going back in time, and I love historical documentaries and things like that. But what fascinated me is just like, people don't realize how it started because pilgrims were going into the Holy Land in the early, from like the 900 BC or AD to like 1100 AD. And it was very dangerous for pilgrims to go to the Holy Land. One, because the actual physical terrain to get there at that time was very dangerous. There were looters and robbers, and, they would either get mugged, beat up, kidnapped, sold into slavery. So, people wanted a safe passage. So that's how it came about. A group who wanted this he was from France, and my notes escape me right now, but he was a mercenary or a soldier, and he was going to the Holy Land, and then he found out that these people were being mugged and beat up and, taken or sometimes murdered, just trying to get to go see the Holy Land and do their pilgrimage. So he started a group of like 8 or 12 guys to go over with him to make sure they have safe passage. Well, that started, and just in a nutshell, there's a lot more to it, but, they would give them offerings to get there safely. And the men who started it were like monks. So they lived, a chaste life. They were, lived like poor. They, didn't take on any of the riches, I guess you would call it, or payments. So they lived like monks, but they also trained like mercenaries. So, the church kind of at first was divided because they said you can't, be, protecting people like soldiers and live like monks monastically or whatever. So as time went on, and this grew into a bigger thing because, noble people wanted to go. They wanted to make sure that they were safe if they were sending, their princesses or, whatever, any type of nobility that were going. So as time went on, they would give land, deed land to the Templars. And the Templars weren't taking it personally, but they were taking it for the business of being the Knights Templar. And as that went on, they expanded into Europe. So, they would almost be like, well, this is the start of like the modern name banking. They would protect or guard or sometimes house the riches of the rich people, like say they had like a chest of gold. So they would give it to the knights, and for a fee, they would house it and protect it.
Yes.
And then ongoing through the centuries, that became the basis for modern day banking. And so they became so rich and so powerful from all of these donations that they would get. Sometimes, landowners would die and forget their stuff, and then it was theirs. So, I just thought it was fascinating. There was like so much detail and politics, in the involvement of the church and just that whole like politics behind it. I don't know. I just thought it was fascinating. And there's always that mystery of like, what were they also protecting? Some people think it was like secrets of alchemy or magic or, just relics. What's the other word escapes me because I'm just like, I can't think of it now.
I know it's getting late there.
And my notes fell on the floor, so I'm like, they're over there. But I'm sorry. But it's all in the book. All in the book.
Yeah. And then just because I know we're after hour and 22 minutes, but this is another one too, because I absolutely love vampires. I've always had, Dracul. And if I could have my dream come true, I'd go to Transylvania. I've always wanted to go there.
Yeah.
Because the history there is just absolutely amazing as well, besides, having Dracul. No.
And this is so funny. I'll tell you this quick story about my connection to vampires.
Okay.
I was fascinated by them. I always thought it was cool and watched every vampire movie I could. Well, before I started writing my first book, I saw this guy in this vampire movie, and I thought he was the cat's meow, and I was like, I got to meet this guy. And so I had already moved back to Ohio from Hollywood. And so somehow I found his email, like on this real estate website. I don't even know. And he was an actor and a stuntman, and he was in this movie called Underworld. I don't know if you ever seen that one.
Yes.
Right? Okay. So the guy who played Pierce with the long hair, the lichen with the long hair.
Yeah.
So I emailed him and got in contact with him, and then we ended up like just staying friends. We're still friends to this day, but I went out and met him a couple times. Nice. And that's what started my writing career, because I wanted to. He inspired a character for my book.
Right. No, that's awesome. So out of you've written many more. I was going to grab them all, but I'm like, well, that's a lot. I mean, I grabbed quite a few because I wanted to share
I appreciate that.
and everything. Yeah, absolutely. But where can everybody find all your books?
So all of my books are on Amazon. They're available in Kindle version or paperback. You can order them there. You can also, go to our website, www.222paranormal.com. We're going to be putting links to the books on the website. Okay. If you follow our podcast, in all of our show notes, we have links to the books and to our website, and to, if we have a featured guest, to their information too. But, if anybody wants to pick up a copy or come to a convention, we post where we're going to be, and you can pick up a copy there as well.
And what's the quickest way if anybody wants to reach out to you or wants to be on your podcast? How can they reach out?
So best is to DM us through Facebook. We're, under 222 Paranormal Podcast on there. That's the best way. We have a lot of social media, but, it's hard to keep up with all of it. So I just direct everybody to Facebook, because that's where we're most active at.
That's pretty much what I do now too. Because I have TikTok and Instagram and Facebook.
It's a lot.
And Pinterest. So yeah,
full-time job.
It's a lot to share. So I just now say, this is what I say now. Just go to my Cindy Sapp page, CYNDI, SAPP, and you can find all my links right in there, because it's just much easier than to say them all. So. Well, Jennifer, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much.
That I kept you longer.
You've been a great host. I love your podcast. It's so good.
No, I had a blast with you. I loved hearing all your experiences, and I'm so fascinated by your haunted house. So maybe one of these days when Marcus and I get out to Ohio, because we do plan to go out there, I'll have to hit you up so we can maybe meet up and have a little dinner or something, and do some investigation, show us around.
So, I have lots of haunted places right here in Toledo that I could take you.
Oh, that would be so awesome. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in.
Everybody. Really
thank you for stepping into the circle with us on the Coven of Curiosity podcast, where the mysteries, paranormal, eerie, and the unexplained are always welcome. Your energy, curiosity, stories, and open mind help keep this coven alive. Until we gather again, walk gently through the mysteries, question what hides in the shadows, and never stop exploring the unknown. This is a judgment-free circle. Whenever you enter the coven, your personal stories, personal encounters, unusual experiences, theories, and beliefs will be heard because your voice matters and your experiences deserve to be valued. If you would please help the coven grow and rate, follow, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Every interaction helps more curious souls discover our circle and join the conversation. The time has come to join the coven, enter the darkness, and unveil the mysteries of the unknown. Thank you all so much. And Jennifer, again, thank you again.
Thank you, Cindy. I wish you all the best, and I love your podcast, and I hope everybody likes and subscribes.
Yes, please. All right. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you. All right. Take care.